What is going on, Earth 2 novice enthusiasts and everyone in between? I am going live. I will mention this. I'm going live right now on 2 channels. So before I forget, I want to mention this. I'm live on 2 channels. If you are interested in Earth 2 content, metaverse content, NFTs, cryptocurrency, and all that, you're definitely going to want to make sure you check out the show notes, the description down below, because you might be watching this on the wrong channel. Just because I'm going live right now, I don't actually post a lot of that content on this channel anymore, 2 channels. One of them is Meal Prep Biz 101. That's the channel that you're probably watching this on. It's got a bit bigger following. I'm trying to migrate everybody over to the Earth 2 News channel. So if you want to find that channel, the links are in the notes below. The reason you're going to want to be checking that out is that is where I am exclusively posting most of the NFT, cryptocurrency, financials, all that kind of content is going exclusively there now. I'm not posting it anywhere near as frequently on mealprepbiz101.com. Trying to add that in. Also, I wanted to basically take this time today. I do have some new content that is done, edited, and it is scheduled. I have been doing a lot of updated strategy videos and a lot of stuff that is not only good for people who are completely new to Earth 2 or maybe not familiar with Earth 2 at all, but also good for people who have been in Earth 2 for a while and just want some updated opinions, because there have been a lot of developments over 2021. The first year of Earth 2 has been amazing. There were definitely some setbacks and some issues with some launches and the site crashing, and just and I think they underestimated, I should say, what type of reaction the metaverse crowd had out there. And they were crashing some sites, but the end of 2021 had a lot of exciting, and really, I'd say anything beyond the first quarter had a lot of back-to-back exciting updates, and it changed a lot of my strategy. So I have some earlier strategy videos that I made in the beginning of 2021. I've done a lot of updates for that. A lot of it is just adding on to that information. So those are still good to check out. But if you want to see the updated stuff, again, make sure that stuff now is only being posted to Earth 2 News, that new channel. So again, the link to that is below. But let's get into the most recent announcement from Earth 2. And there's actually a couple of different things that they brought up in today's announcement. The first one is going to be dealing with the referral codes. Now, I have been in Earth 2 since the beginning, since the first month that it was launched. I'm very fortunate that I stumbled upon it. I don't even remember how. I was just researching metaverse stuff. I've been in cryptocurrency for years, been very excited about the different metaverse projects through my exposure in cryptocurrency. So I'm sure I stumbled upon it that way, but I don't remember specifically how. But as a reward for being one of the early adopters of Earth 2, early supporters of Earth 2, the people like myself who have tier 1 land now have more power in the referral code. That means that when you use my referral code now, which is at the bottom of your screen, instead of just getting 5% back, you are now going to be getting 7.5% back. So 50% increase in the original supporters' ability to give you guys some money back when you use those referral codes for the purchase. If you're not familiar, I have a referral code that goes to a special account. That account, all the referral money that I generate in there, I purchase land with, and then I use that for my land giveaways. If you're not familiar with my land giveaways, you're definitely going to want to check out the links in the show notes. One's going to take you to a form. I'll send you some email updates and things like that. I'll also sign you up for a referral raffle. So that's when I use your referral code when I make my purchases. So you get some cash back. But the land that I purchase with the account that's set up with that referral code below is given away to you guys for your support as a thank you. And the way you enter that is when you use my referral code for your purchases, just basically take a screenshot, send that to myearth2news@gmail.com, and I will enter you into that raffle. And that's where I give away land that I've purchased over that entire week. So whatever I've purchased for that entire week, I pick someone at the end of the week. I just did that Saturday. I'll probably do it again this Saturday or Sunday. Pick a random person, and they basically get everything. And it's been made a lot easier with the new gifting abilities in Earth 2, which is one of the new updates where you can send land to someone. So instead of having to do microtransactions of like a penny, where before I'd have to have someone make a purchase offer for a penny on that specific property, send them the links. It wasn't that inconvenient, but now it's a lot easier where I could just get your information and gift it to you and give you basically a code that you're able to redeem on your side, and that gives you the land. So that is one of the new announcements, and I'll read that to you. For our Tier 1 property owners, the promised custom referral code benefit has been implemented and is now live. To recap, the referral code benefits include the 7.5% credit code for owners and the people who use that discount code. Again, 7.5% instead of the standard 5%. And what's cool is my old code still works. So you could still use that code if that's the one that you've been using, no problem. It's still the code at the bottom of the screen and in the show notes. And the other thing that I'm not sure I'm going to do, just because I've been using this code so much and it's so many different places, I can now customize it. I've got to do some more research as to, if people are still using the old code because they're watching old videos, will that still work for them? I know right now it is giving them 7.5%, so I don't have to change it. I was thinking about changing it to something custom that would be easier to remember. But again, I've got it in so many different places. It might just be easier instead of having to like change all my old videos and relaunch them and edit them and go through all that headache. Might just keep the code the same. Whatever. Everyone just copies and pastes it for the most part anyway. So I guess it's not that inconvenient. So this is part of the EDC promise, and we're thrilled that our Tier 1 property owners can uniquely use their customized referral codes to give and receive bigger discounts and credits to anyone using them. If you're not familiar with Tier 1, what am I talking about? Tier 1, Tier 2, definitely check out my channel because I have some updated videos on the tier concepts, classes, phases, all that jazz, but I won't get into it in this live episode because I've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it brief. A lot of times I'll do an easy hour going live, especially if I start going into the comments and going back and forth with you guys, start getting into speculation, which is fun. But I do have a lot of stuff to do today. So moving right along, locked countries. If you're not familiar with this, and if you are, bear with me, but there are not 100% of the countries in Earth 2 are unlocked as of yet. Last year, one of the big unlocking events was Saudi Arabia and Dubai and that whole area. There are still some countries that have remained locked, which means you cannot buy property in those countries as of yet, but they are still going to be unrolling these countries out, unlocking these countries in the imminent future. And what's cool about that is this going back to land classes. And again, if you aren't familiar with what land classes are, don't worry. I've got a video that explains land classes and gives you some ideas as far as strategy behind it, how to implement that information in your buying strategy. But the land classes with new countries will start off at class 1. So those are the most powerful, most powerful and most valuable pieces of land are going to be class 1, tier 1. Tier 1 is gone. I am going to be assuming that from now on, it will all be tier 2, and then eventually we're going to get to a tier 3 and 4 and so forth. The higher the number, the lower the value, and that affects things like your ability to generate resources and essence. And, as they showed here, tier 1 land purchasers, the original tier 1 land purchasers, your referral code has a bit more value to it. As well as in the future, we're going to have ad revenue, and having the lower the number, the more of a share. It's just like first class. First class 1, the lowest number is definitely going to be the most heavily sought after. So that will also give you more abilities to generate, like I said, resources, essence, but also a bigger share of the pie when it comes to the ad revenue generated by Earth 2. And that's a pretty sweet deal that I'm very excited about. So in addition to the referral code update, Earth 2 is formally announcing its intention to begin unlocking locked countries imminently. This will come as exciting news for many members of the Earth 2 community, particularly those who have been waiting to purchase land in these locked countries for quite some time. Now, as we saw with Dubai, I'm expecting the same thing. When these countries get unlocked, there will be a mad dash to purchase this land. So I don't expect the Class 1 land to last very long. If you're not familiar, Class 1 land is allocated to the first 100,000 tiles purchased in that specific country. So again, new countries, it resets the clock with that country. And it's also going to be starting off at 10 cents per tile. So those are two very enticing reasons that you're going to be wanting to focus on this unlocking event. All locked countries will be released with tier 2 tiles, as I mentioned, and will be available for purchase starting at the standard base rate of 10 cents per tile. And again, that's going to increase as people buy it up. So it's just like a stock. The more interest there is, the higher the price goes. So grabbing some 10-cent land in the beginning is definitely going to be a surefire way to basically guarantee that you're going to be getting a significant increase in your tile value. So if you are into buying and flipping, that's really where you want to be, is buying it early, because the price will skyrocket. It will still, like, as you can see, the land value will still trend up, but that initial hockey puck type of price reaction is what you really want to be riding up. I bought a lot of 10-cent land because, again, I was in on the beginning. I had no idea where the value of the land would be. Some of this stuff has gone for over $100. So imagine purchasing 10-cent pieces of land that are now going for over $100. That's a pretty nice return on your investment. And it is still climbing. But again, that initial spike is really where a lot of people are going to make the most money and the fastest. You don't have to hold it anywhere near as long. I am holding long. I haven't sold too much, but in any case, each strategy is, enticing, and it comes down to what your tolerance is and what your interests are in the project as a whole. Where was I? Releasing these locked countries has become possible due to the improvements made by our development team in regards to the location data inside the relevant problematic areas. Location data inside these areas is now accurately reflected, and we are pleased to finally enable Earth 2 players to take up ownership in those previously locked countries. It should be duly noted that our team has not forgotten about the players who won Tier 1 LAN in locked countries, and out of goodwill, we are working on ways to provide compensation for those players and their affected Tier 1 properties. Additionally, we have decided to stagger the release for all 38 locked countries. So there's still a lot of countries left. I had no idea it was 38 until I read this. Some of them are countries I haven't even thought of. There are obviously some that are very popular. A lot of people are from that area, or they have connections in those areas, or those are areas of some civil unrest and all sorts of other political kind of issues that keep them in the news. Oil in some of these, natural resources in general in some of these countries that make them very popular. So to know that there's 38 of them, that's very cool, because that's 38 opportunities for you to be picking up some Class 1 10-cent or at least very cheap land. There will be no official announcement on when a country will be released, and the releases will occur over different time zones to ensure people from all parts of our world get a fair chance. If you're not familiar with what happened in the past, Dubai is a great example. There was a lot of hype around that. They had a countdown and everything. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this stream, one of the issues that frustrate a lot of people with Earth 2 is their underestimating of how much interest there was. Servers would crash, websites would crash. Like, it was just chaos. It was very frustrating. And then you obviously have people who are interested in this project from all over the globe. So the question would become, well, when is a fair time to release this property? We have most of our interest is in the US, at least at the time. That's where most of the interest was. So let's release it while the US is awake. and that did provide a disadvantage to people who were in other time zones, who were working or sleeping and weren't able to participate, and they felt like they were, slighted or left out. So those issues I see as being very compelling reasons for them to just randomly release this stuff. And actually, when I get into the egg hunt, there's also some randomness to that as well, to also combat the interest, the huge amount of interest and overwhelming support that this project has, that unfortunately leads to negative and frustrating experiences for people who are trying to engage. So again, they're going to kind of keep it kind of random just to keep it fair. And they also want to make sure that, the randomness makes it kind of fair and also spreads the advantage or eliminates the disadvantage that people would have. So that's really cool. With 38 countries, they could do easily hit every time zone, 24 time zones. So they could give everyone kind of like a round robin plus another 14 to spare that they'll maybe sprinkle in every other. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I imagine it'll be something like that, where every time zone will have at least one country being unlocked in it. Maybe the country, or maybe the time zone that country's in, even though it's not evenly distributed around the globe like that. So leave that speculation as you will, take it or leave it. The biggest change with these releases is that there will now be daily restrictions on how many tiles a user can purchase for a set period of time. Another thing that I think is very fair for them to implement after a country is officially released. This will not only prevent a small number of players hoarding early purchases at the best price, but will also add more diversity to the ownership of that country, including more diversity to future voting events, which we feel very excited about. I've seen a lot of these trends, and I've mentioned this in other videos, where Earth 2 is the team behind it is they've displayed a lot of instances, a lot of reasons why I believe they're very set on making this a for the people, by the people type of project. In the future, we will be taking over Earth 2, and a lot of the development, I already see things being put in place. A lot of foundational things are being put in place to usher us in as the shepherds of Earth 2. So they want to avoid, whales hoarding things, as they mentioned. They want to, right now, one of the things I mentioned in another recent video I've done is there's not a lot of corporations who have gotten in this and started to buy up everything. If you are familiar with Ready Player One, obviously you've seen the future impact that corporations will have in these metaverses. And, the founder of the Oasis in Ready Player One was obviously very mindful of that and tried to do what he could to keep things fair, but also bake things in that made it so that hopefully a corporate fat cats couldn't just come in, take over, and just kind of bastardize the entire experience for people and just turn it into just a corporate playground. Some other Facebook and all, we've seen all these instruments that originally came out as something that was very much for the people, by the people, felt a lot more pure in its infancy, and now we see them become these have these very negative headlines and all these sneaky data collection and targeting and fake news and all that kind of jazz that's come out with Twitter and Facebook and all these other platforms that, when they were just for us, great, no problems. But as money influences everything, as that corporate influence and political influence came in, so instead of going down that tangent, I will end that there. I think you get where I'm going. If you haven't seen Ready Player One, or if you haven't seen it in a while, I like watching it every few months. It kind of revitalizes my my brain on the whole metaverse concept and gets me really excited about it. So moving right along with our recent announcement on resources. Oops, got to pop up there. With our recent announcement on resources, which was a announcement they did yesterday, I believe. We understand there will be many players eyeing off ecosim driven purchases when these new countries go live. So our best advice is to stay vigilant and keep alert by listening to the community and monitoring chatter across social media, staying informed by, following and making sure that you're not only subscribed, but you've got those alert notifications on channels like Earth 2 News. You could support my other channel, Meal Prep Biz 101. I appreciate that. But again, a lot of the exclusive posts, and most of the time when I go live, it is exclusively on Earth 2 News. I am still trying to usher people over to Earth 2 News, so that is why I am simulcasting to both my channels. But again, if you're watching this on Meal Prep Biz 101, I'm already live on the other channel. Just find the link below, find Earth 2 News, and indulge yourself in those other the additional content that I've got there. Related to not only Earth 2 and other metaverse projects. I also have a podcast that I am going to be doing that will talk about Earth 2 very heavily, as well as NFTs, metaverse, DAOs, all sorts of Web 3.0 type of stuff, cryptocurrency. And if you are not informed, or if you want to learn more about that, podcast is also going to be great. It isn't out yet. I will start advertising once I have more things set up and I have launched it, but I am in the preparation phase. I do have some episodes planned out, and I am going to be doing that. A lot of it will be like my normal content. I like to be inclusive. I like to share information, bring people up to speed, make it so that newer people, if you look at both of my channels, they are about teaching new people how to do and how to understand these new bits of information, whether it's starting a meal prep business, which is obviously what my primary channel is dedicated to, understanding business and leadership and marketing and all that other stuff. But then also now with Earth 2, I'm sharing my fascination, appreciation, and excitement for cryptocurrency, Earth 2, metaverse, NFTs, DAOs, cryptocurrency mining, all these different things that I'm into, because I know what it's like to be new, and it's frustrating when there aren't good resources. Although there is a plentiful amount of information on the internet, sometimes it goes right over your head. I know there's some articles, if I don't read the right article from the right source on certain stuff, or I don't dig down the right Reddit thread, or I don't get into the right Discord, it might be a conversation that's already over my head, and I'm wasting time because I don't understand what's being discussed, and I'm trying to read it, trying to absorb it. And if I just go back and I were to find, something that walks me in through the shallow end, it's a lot easier to understand, appreciate, and pick things up faster when you're not trying to play catch up with a conversation that you're not able to, fully be a part of and fully understand and appreciate. Additional updates in relation to Essence. We have also added the Ether heat map view option, which is very cool. Players can now see where Ether has been detected by mentors. If you're not familiar with what Ether and mentors are, I've got another video on that. But it's definitely a huge part of Earth 2. And this map is going to be amazing, because this feature is the first step toward some possible bigger changes where the concentration of Ether detection rates may have communal influence over various gameplay mechanisms. It also continues to demonstrate our ability to capture data and display relevant metrics on a global map, something that will be expanded upon over time with other data sources inside Earth 2. Now, as a business owner, as someone who's very familiar with marketing, I had a marketing company, still do a lot of marketing and consulting, and I know how important data is. And the data feeds that we are going to be able to utilize, not only as players, but if you're looking at this as a business opportunity or an investment, this type of stuff and their ability to display their features, functions, and abilities with the data already and projecting forward what they'll be able to do with this stuff is very exciting, because we will be able to see the hot spots when it comes down to advertising, targeting advertising locations where you might want to be buying based on not only where people have purchased land, which is what the initial heat spot was reflecting, but also where people are visiting. Once we start getting into the third phase of Earth 2, and we will actually be engaging in visiting Earth 2 and going to these different areas. There will be areas of popularity that will not overlay with the real world. One of the advantages is, yeah, Manhattan will probably, downtown Manhattan and Paris and all these places that are popular in the real world, there will definitely be a lot of interest in visitors there. But we will also see places that are in the middle of deserts in Earth 1 or the real Earth, but in Earth 2, that's a metropolis, that's a mega city. And I go over mega cities in some other videos. All these reasons, it's almost like I can't go 2 minutes without saying something that's explained deeper in another video. So to avoid boring some of you who are familiar with all this stuff, I would just refer the layman, the noobs, and the people who are unfamiliar. Check out my other videos. I do a much better job at going into this stuff. I'd love to bring you up to speed, but I've got a mixed audience in these conversations or these live streams. So yeah, some other announcements that I want to discuss is the Easter egg hunt. Right now, it seems like they're calling it a lot. I'm seeing it more called the egg hunt. But if you're not familiar, Easter egg is a term in the video game culture where you're finding hidden things. So there are literally little Earth 2 eggs that have cash prizes. They are also going to be giving you an NFT if you find these. And there have been some confusion about how to find, I guess, some people who aren't familiar and they weren't part of the original Easter egg hunt last year. I'm very proud to have won one of the NFTs by finding an egg. What you have to do this year, last year it was a video was released. We were all waiting. There was a countdown, all that jazz. And again, I think they experienced some of the frustration of wanting to allow everyone to participate, but not being able to do it in a way that gave everyone the same kind of advantage. Again, if you were sleeping when the Easter egg video came out, you weren't able to jump in and watch it at first. So you had a disadvantage because there are only, I think it basically works out to being like 11 rewards per egg. There's the first person to find and report an egg gets the grand prize. And again, these are cash prizes that I think exceed, I think the top one is $6,500 or $6,000. And the first person gets the grand prize, but then they will have 10 second place winners who still get the NFT, which will have its own value, and you will still get a cash prize that is much smaller. But, and when I say cash prize, I mean $E. So it would be credited to your Earth 2 account. But this year, instead of doing the video that you have to look through and pause and play in slow-mo and zoom into, they are doing periodic pictures that are coming out. From what I've seen, most of them have been on the Earth 2 website, and they are hidden in the pictures that come out with their news announcements. So the news feeds, if you want to check those out, that's where you'll see them. And it does take some patience. It's nowhere near as frustrating as I felt the video was. And what's cool is this is something so that even if everything that came out and was found yesterday or this morning, you still have an opportunity tomorrow. And again, as I mentioned before, they want to make it just like with the land announcements, something that's randomized. We do know that it's kind of, and they said these eggs can be anywhere. So don't just look at the announcements that they have. You got to be following them on their social media accounts. And from what I've seen, I think they've all been on the website so far, but that means they could be anywhere. And especially if they've all been on the website, high likelihood that they are going to be popping up on their social media accounts. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's all fair game, as well as the website earth2.io. So check it out. Look, one of the rules is you're not allowed to tell people where the eggs are. So to avoid disqualifying myself, I can't show you exactly where I found some eggs, but I have found some. I have submitted them. The process for submitting is you take a screenshot, you circle the egg, you want to crop it so it's not obvious where it is, so a bunch of other people find it based on seeing your photo. Then you post that on Twitter. Before you post it, you want to make sure that you've put your Twitter handle in it. And you can do any of their social media, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. You post it to one of their social media accounts. Doesn't have to be all of them, could just be one of them. Post it, tag Earth 2 Egg Hunt 2022 as a hashtag, write on the image while circling it where the egg is, again, cropping it in, put your handle for whatever social media profile that is, your Twitter handle, Instagram handle, your Facebook name, whatever. And then also after you've posted this and you're posting it on your own account, but tagging that using that hashtag, because that's what's going to search it on. You don't have to post it on their account, but it has to be one of the social media platforms that they have a presence on. You can't post it on like Tumblr or Reddit or, Snapchat or any of that jazz. They're not paying attention to it there. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then comment on your own post. Again, you're posting it on like your own wall, your own Twitter with that hashtag circled, your name on the picture, and then commenting on that post. So now going after it's posted, going to comment with your link to your Earth 2 profile. There's no cost to enter. It doesn't take you any money. You don't even have to own land in Earth 2 to participate in this. So theoretically, you could be winning very valuable and limited NFT and some cash just by playing along without spending a buck. But let's see what else. That's everything that I wanted to go over with you guys. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the comments right now. I will try to get to them if there are any, but the simulcasting software that I'm using right now doesn't allow me to see the comments coming in. So I will have to check them out afterward. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the right channel. Let's go over some of the updates. So we've got the now my code gives you 7.5% back. If you're using my code, take a screenshot, send that screenshot to myearth2news@gmail.com. That'll enter you into my weekly land giveaway. There's also a form in the notes below where you can enter to win my referral raffle, which again is when I use your referral code, which is something you'll fill out in that form. I'll use your referral code when I make my purchases, so you'll be able to get some cash back. And then I've got the podcast coming out. Again, no links or more information on that. I'm not even going to tell you what the name of it is yet, but that is going to be coming out in the near future, very imminently. We've got the Easter egg hunt 2022 is on, or the egg hunt 2022 is on. We got countries coming out that are being unlocked and all sorts of other fun stuff. So it's very exciting. Again, Earth 2 is just following with more exciting updates and announcements. Play around with the new heat map. They've updated to the latest Mapbox platform as well. Mapbox is the mapping software. It's a third-party company they've got partnership with. A lot of other partnerships and acquisitions that I've got other videos on, so check those out, because if you're not sure why Earth 2 is generating such buzz, being informed will help you. Again, none of this is financial advice, but if this is something that you're considering to get into, being metaverse projects, this is my favorite. This isn't the only metaverse project I'm involved in, but Earth 2 is by far my favorite. In fact, I've got a video coming out explaining why, so stay tuned for that. Again, you'll find all that stuff on my second YouTube channel, Earth 2 News. Link to that below. That's all I got for you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. Referral code below if you like the cut of my jib and the information I'm providing. I hope you not only support my channel by subscribing and having those alerts on so you catch everything as it comes out, gives you the best advantage, but also using my referral code. And if you're going to use it, you might as well partake in the potential to win some free land. So I will be signing off. Look forward to bringing you guys more news. Again, I've got some new episodes coming up in the pipe, and I've been launching a lot of new stuff recently, but I've got some more that will be scheduled very soon. So keep your eyes peeled, subscribe, keep those alerts on, and have yourself an awesome, what is today? Thursday. Have yourself an awesome Thursday and rest of your week.